Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be changing the upper lower radiator hose, the thermostat, and the bleeder valve. I've got some stuff that's starting to leak out of the pipes, and as you can see, these are the OEM pipes, or the hoses, and I'm going to end up removing all of them, exchanging them for brand new OEMs. And we're going to start off by remove the cover, and then we're going to remove this piece here. It's just a couple of these little thingies here. You're going to pop these off, these little plastic tabs, remove them, and then we'll start by removing the lower pan at the bottom of the truck and get started with that. All right, so we've got the bottom tray removed. Got the car up on ramps. It's just going to make it easier to drain the coolant that's in there now. And we're going to go underneath, and there's the drain for the radiator, which we don't really need right now. And then this is going to be the bottom of the lower radiator hose. So we're going to grab some pliers. We're going to remove this. We're going to move it back. We're going to wiggle this thing out, and then I'm going to dump it into a 16-quart container. All right, so got my pliers, and I was able to remove it from here, pinch it together, move the little clamp all the way to the back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going into twisting this out, and I'm going to end up pouring it directly into my catch can here. All right, here it is. Remove the hose. All the fluid's coming back down in here, straining in nicely. I'm going to keep on letting this drain until it's completely done. We'll leave that hose intact for right now, and then we'll pick it up on the other side. Okay guys, we're up top now. So as you can see down there, there's a radiator hose dripping. This is the one where it connects to the thermostat. Just gonna get the pliers, put them up in here, and then to get a little squeeze, move it around, and then we'll loosen this hose off. Then try to see if we can shimmy it out a little bit. All right, here we go. Here we go. I have to adjust the pliers here. Hopefully we can get this thing off without it fighting with us. It's gonna fight with me for just a little bit. Okay, so I was able to loosen it. I'm getting ready to remove it. This is this little piece right here, so it's not the entire thing all the way down. There's a hose down there that runs from about right here to the very bottom. This is a metal piece that runs along. It's about a foot long, and then there's this little itty-bitty piece right here that connects to the thermostat. This is the piece that we'll be removing. This clamp up top. There's a clamp right here, so there's two clamps here and here. Gonna remove this one, gonna move it up a little bit, and then we'll be able to back this one off, put this one back on. This metal pipe is perfectly fine. It's just the rubber hoses we're going to replace, which is basically this little top one at the top, the one at the bottom, and then we'll be replacing this longer one, which is the upper radiator hose. All right guys, so what I did to get a little bit more leverage, I'll just remove the reservoir, remove the two bolts right here, and just kind of sort of scooched it over to the side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this 12mm bolt. That bolt will give me a little bit more access, so I can move this little pipe down here, move the metal part it's connected to, kind of sort of swing it out so that I can get a little bit more angle to remove the hoses from it. What I've got, this is the part that connects to the thermostat housing. This is that middle pipe that connects to the lower hose. So this whole metal section here is good. That does not need to be replaced. It's just these two little hoses, right? Well, this hose and then this longer hose. These are both, this is a lower radiator hose. This is the one that attaches to the thermostat, or couples to the thermostat, and then connects to this piece right here. So I'm gonna do now, just gonna clean up this little, all this junk that's right here. So I have a clean mating surface, and then I'll go through the install process. All right, guys, I'm moving it along a little bit. Got the little housing, the collar there cleaned. I'm gonna take off the upper radiator hose. I just basically took off the clamps, moved them down. The ones that were down there, move those down. I kind of sort of loosened the bolt for the airbox. Now I can have a little bit more room to get to the clamp. Simple enough. It doesn't have to be removed or lifted out. Just leave it there in place. And now I'm just gonna simply just remove the hose, and I'll put this one on since it's the easiest one after I clean up this guy right here. All right, guys, we are now going to be removing the thermostat. I've got the upper hose removed. I've got the lower hose removed. Cleaned these up nice and they're smooth. And it has got 1, 2, 3, looks like it's got 4 bolts. It's got a bolt here, 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 and here. They are 12mm bolts. So I am gonna remove the clamp from this, remove it, and then I'm gonna start the process of removing this item right here. All right, all 4 bolts have been loosened. Basically, you're just gonna use a neck to pry up on it, open it up a little bit, and put a towel around it so that whatever residual coolant is in here will just fall on the towel and not necessarily on the components. So just removing this like this. Moving it off to the side. And there's your thermostat. She was a leaker, so it's pretty bad. I'm gonna remove it. Just remember this little dingly thing here, make sure you clock it the right way. It needs to be straight up, so when you twist it back on, it'll stay facing the very top, this little valve. So I'm just gonna remove this, basically. Just gonna see if I can pry it off. Yeah, she'll pry off nice and easy, maybe. So I'll remove that. Then I will come back for the install to make sure everything is good. So I have now removed the thermostat. I've reinstalled it. Got the new gasket on here as well. Then I tighten up all 4 bolts. And then I'm gonna start by adding the upper radiator, and then I'll work my way down to the lower radiator hose. So let me start on that, and I'll get back with you guys once it's all complete. All right, guys, so I've got the very lower radiator hose put back on. I was able to get those bolted down. I have the upper radiator hose that's bolted down, got the clamps back on both sides. All I did was clean up the terminals, reconnected this back. I had loosened this initially so I can move the airbox a little bit to get to the clamp. Got that situated, retightened the clamp, the bolt for the airbox. The only thing that I'm missing at this point is this little thing. It connects basically from the thermostat housing to this coolant pipe connector that connects to the lower radiator hose down there. So I've got it on order. It's not here yet. So once I get that done, I will finish up the video and fill it up with coolant, start it up and test it. But what we're gonna do now is I'm just going to remove, while I'm here, I'm gonna remove this little bleeder. You can see it's already kind of sort of leaking a little bit. These are the old OEM plastic ones. I've got a new metal thermostat, and it's an aluminum one, and I'm just going to replace it. So basically, you just remove the hose clamps on both sides, remove those, put the new T connector in, and then just button it back up. It's very simple stuff. And I'm sorry I'm not showing you the actual work because I don't have anybody to hold the camera for me. So But nonetheless, it's just the basics that you would be doing anyway. So nothing trivial. Everything's pretty straightforward. I'm just showing you kind of sort of the steps on where to go to. But this is an extra step for me, but it is, I think, one of the important ones, because if this goes, it leaks coolant, you're on the road, and then you will be stranded, and or you can burn out the motor. All right, guys, so it is there. I had to take a little break before I put it on, but there it is. It's all buttoned up. Nice aluminum bleeder. Won't have to worry about it cracking or failing. Now all we have left to do is to get this one part here from the dealer, put that in, then we'll start filling it up with coolant, see exactly how everything is going. All right, everyone, I've got the part came in. This is the part that I needed. It goes right back down in here. Got it all buttoned up. It's got green tabs. They line up with this little guide right here. There's another green tab that goes down here in the bottom that lines up with the metal pipe there, so you know that they're going in the right direction. Put my hoses all back here, and everything is clamped back up nice and easy. Pretty simple stuff. And that's about it. The next step we're going to do is we're going to start filling it up. Although I do have one more hose at the bottom that I am going to replace because it seems to be leaking. But once I get that hose in, I will start the process of filling it up and bleeding it using the new bleeder that I have out here in the back. All right, so we got everything installed. All the pipes are on. I'm going to fill up the system. Got my bleeder valve back there opened up. So I'm going to let it run for a couple of moments, let it suck all the fluid inside, all the coolant inside, and then I'm going to take it for a test drive to make sure that everything's fine. But if everything is good, then that should pretty much complete the video. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hope it was helpful.